ALG really saved me. I put all of my success on joining this group. People constantly checking in saved me.
I made so many friends with people that I've never met, but I feel incredibly close to, and I consider them family.
It really is a family. It is a place where you can just be yourself, and there is no judgment. There is no shame. You are so welcome there.
Nobody has to be in this alone. Everybody is either going through or has gone through the same thing at one point.
Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the ALG podcast. I am your co-host, John Arpino, otherwise known as JR's Journey on Instagram, and I am joined alongside my partner in crime, David Roden, otherwise known as Fit_D-Rock on Instagram, and welcome to the ALG podcast.
And we're shooting the shit.
Opening. Yeah, we're just hanging out today.
We're just shooting the shit. To be honest, John and I were just chopping it up for about 5 to 10 minutes before we even click record, and I was like, we were just to shoot the shit, and I was like, let's just shoot the shit. Let's just have a conversation. And so that's where this conversation is going to go, and it's going to go fucking everywhere, and accept it and be ready for it. And I don't know where it's going to go, but that's always fun.
Yeah.
What was the last thing of train of thought that I wanted to click?
Oh, we were talking about intermittent fasting and how it's bullshit now.
Oh yeah. Layden Norton just did another explaining the meta-analysis on the newest data between calorie deficit and intermittent fasting involving calorie deficit, and there's no fucking difference.
No,
there's no fucking difference. Whether if calorie deficit is the same, the fat loss is going to be the same. And so then it comes down to, do you enjoy breakfast or don't you enjoy breakfast?
Yeah, and that's really the only thing.
Eat breakfast.
And ever since I was introduced to intermittent fasting, that's really all it was for me. I was telling David this before we hit record. I never really adjusted my windows of eating, but it was just I never enjoyed eating breakfast, and I was just always more comfortable eating my first meal around 1:30 anyway. So I just labeled myself sometimes as someone who intermittent fasted.
It's so funny because, oh my gosh, the charlatans on both sides are so funny to me because I think about 400-pound David, and I never ate breakfast.
No.
I will admit when I did eat breakfast, it was a whole box of cereal or something just raunchy. But I didn't eat breakfast quite a bit because I was never hungry in the morning. And then you get the charlatans of because breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and since you're skipping it, you're slowing down your metabolism, and it's causing you to have a slow metabolism and put on body fat. Oh, shut the fuck up.
I mean, I only ate breakfast as a kid growing up because, it was there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And growing up, it was oh, you have to eat breakfast before you go to school. That's just what you do.
See, I never did.
My mom would just be and then once I got into,
I was lucky
late
to get
middle
to school
and high school. Well, yeah, me too. Absolutely. But then once I got into middle school and high school, I was I'm not really doing the whole breakfast thing, you know? But then again, sometimes I would have an egg sandwich before. Do you guys have egg sandwiches in Michigan? I don't even know if that's
fuck yeah. Egg sandwiches are clutch out here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so sometimes I would have an egg sandwich.
There was a fast food diner right down the street from my school, and people would go there and get egg sandwiches all the time. We actually had a deal. Quite a few of our teachers, the cool teachers, if you were late to first hour, as long as you came with an egg sandwich or something, you were Gucci.
Yeah, I had a teacher like that. I had an English teacher that if you were late to her class, it didn't matter how long you were late, you had to bring her a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and it was all right. It didn't make a difference. And then I had a dean who I don't know where he is right now. I hope he's okay, but he was pushing 6 bills easily. And if you had detention, if you brought him McDonald's, you had no detention. Or if you had in-school suspension and you brought him McDonald's, it was
I remember you talking that before, and it was you talk about reaffirming a bad behavior. It's
yeah. Yeah, dude. I remember I didn't have detention a lot in school, but there was one particular time where I had detention. And I forgot why I had it, but I had it. And, I did not bring him McDonald's, because, fuck you, I'm fat, you're fat. I'm not giving into your bad habits because I'm not going to give into mine. And so his deal to me was he was parked on the opposite end of the building and didn't want to go and walk to get his car. So he was like, if you go and drive my car around, you can leave. And I was like, shit, all right, no problem. I don't even think I had my license then. Yeah.
That's so wild. I know I wanted to pivot off that when we were talking about breakfast or no breakfast. I made a TikTok video on this. I think it's super freaking important because I'm a science guy, and this is something I've learned about myself. Genetics loads the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. Like, obviously, there's a genetic component to obesity. Obviously, there's a genetic component to type 2 diabetes, other things. Like, you happen to have a genetic predisposition to certain things. However, at the same time, you really exacerbate it or make it worse by the fact you eat like an asshole and you treat your body like shit. I have fully noticed it as of late. I took a lot of time not checking my blood pressure for quite a while, because I never needed to, because I was at a good place for a long time. Yeah. And then a few months ago, I decided to check my blood pressure for the first time in a while, and it was like 148 over 90 something, which isn't. It's not ideal. It's not. It's not bad, but
why is your blood pressure so high?
Genetics. It was so like a genetic component, but when I put on weight, my blood pressure starts creeping.
Yeah, so does mine. That's the first thing to start to go up. Actually,
yeah,
is
and
my blood pressure also.
my it was like 148 over 90 something, and then that was back in January, December, and since then I've been leaning out again, and so I was 156, or sorry, 156. I was 256 back in January. And currently I'm 240, so I've lost 16 pounds since January, and 5% body fat. And I just checked my blood pressure. I've been checking my blood pressure on and off the last few weeks, and now I'm back to 125 over 82, or 76. It was 125 over 76, and that's the reality. Like I think I've come to realize that for me, my healthy weight maxes out at about 240, 245.
I'm the same way.
When I get above that, my blood pressure starts creeping, and I got to keep that in check. And so I think from now on, my max that I'm going to allow myself to is probably like 240, 245. Mm-hmm. I won't let myself get above 240, 245 because it's just like blood pressure starts creeping. Everything else is great. All the rest of my blood work's great. But that's something I've realized. It's like, hey, I have a genetic disposition to high blood pressure, and is it my fault? No. But it is my responsibility to do the fucking best I can, because that's what adults do. That's what people that hold accountability to themselves, they do. Guess what? Is it fair? No, it's not fucking fair. I have plenty of friends that eat like assholes, and they have fine blood pressure. Am I going to sit here and bitch about it?
Yeah,
no.
It's so funny because me and my family were just having this conversation at dinner. Yeah, like almost to a T what you just said. Like we were just talking about like different people and cholesterol and like, you know, someone being heavier and having great cholesterol and eating whatever the fuck they want. And then like one of our family members is super skinny and has, you know, eats like perfectly but has like the worst cholesterol in the world.
Yep.
So it's, again, it's just, it all depends on the person. But I can agree. My sweet spot for weight is right about the same, like 240, 245. Mm-hmm. Anything over that, I just feel different. You know what I mean? Like my blood pressure starts to creep up again. I just feel all around fatigued. Even like my mental health takes a toll. And I won't even know if I'm over that weight, you know, because I'm not, unless I'm like in prep for a competition, I'm not always on the scale because that shit doesn't really bother me. I step on the scale
every morning.
I just don't find
it's so funny how we're so different on that front. Like you step on the scale once every 3 months. I step on the scale every morning.
Yeah, I mean, so since coming off, you know, the show and prep and everything, I definitely step on a scale more often than I would normally, but I am nowhere near like glued to a scale.
See, I enjoy this because I'm a science guy, so like I love seeing trends. Like I love just every morning.
Right.
Look at those trends. Look at those. It's beautiful.
But for me, it's like I have to set up a routine and a habit in order to weigh myself on a consistent basis.
Yeah, see, I do it every morning. First, I take a shit, and then I weigh myself. It's like fucking clockwork.
So, like, I used to go to the gym, do my fasted cardio, weigh in at the gym, but now I do my fasted cardio here, and I just, within my routine now, I leave myself the perfect ample amount of time to do cardio, take a shower, get to work exactly when I need to. So, I know people listening will be like, yo, it's 2 seconds, just step on the fucking scale, but that's just the way my body works and the way my mind works.
What's easy to do is also easy not to do. Why can't you just? It's how the shit works. It's whatever you said. That's what It is fascinating to me how after a while, 95, I'm making an educated guess, % of your life is autopilot. Like
who, me?
In general, people.
People. Because I was going to say, yeah, no, it's 100%.
It's people in general. Everyone's fucking autopilot. Why do you drive the way you do to work? Well, because that's how I always drive the way to work. Why do you make the same you tend to make the same fucking breakfast every morning?
Yeah.
Because that's what I have for breakfast. Why do you go to the gym at night? Well, because that's one day I just decided to go at night, so I go at night. Why don't you wake up early before the morning? I don't know.
Because fuck you, mind your business.
Why don't you step on the scale every morning? Because I just don't fucking do it. Why?
Yeah.
And it's like it's a constant, and so like I think that's very empowering because it's like at the end of the day, you change a couple habits and things make massive shifts. It's not like a fucking my gosh, the people, and this is going to sound super bad, but I think it's super important to know because so many people. They create such emotional intensity to like who they are, and it's like, well, it's just who I am. I do this way because it's just me. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Right,
it's who you are. Like you're obese, or I'm a breakfast person, or I'm a this, or I'm a that.
I mean, habitually, it's who you are.
Yeah, but it's not like it's habitual. Exactly, you created it at some point. You create into a pattern,
now you won't break it.
And now you won't break it. But it has nothing to do with because it's actually who you are. It's because you're scared to change, and that's just since you've created into a habit, it's just you think that's who you are. It's just fucking nonsense. It's like, and it's always fun because people will condone or coddle arbitrary and like even negative self-inflicted habits, but as soon as it is towards someone else, it's like, no, you can't do that. Right. Wait, what's the difference? Like you should be treating them the exact same. If someone's a chronic smoker, cigarette smoker, and you're like, no, you really shouldn't do that. It's like, well, I mean, it is their life, and it's like, well, what if they were a chronic spouse abuser? You okay with that? No, you can't do that. It's like they're abusing themselves. You should be able to say, hey, you're abusing yourself, man. Like,
absolutely.
I don't know. I'm an asshole. Like, I lean towards massive accountability. And, no, again, if you want to live your life, live your life. And I'm not going to treat you different, but I'm still going to speak my opinion.
Yeah. I also have, like, a really good way of, like, when I make a mental decision to do something, I kind of stick to it. You know what I mean? Like, I have a really good way of just flicking that discipline switch. So, like, I was telling you before we started to record, like, right now I'm just kind of, like, getting my shit together as far as, like, I'm doing a mini prep just because I want to, not because I have to do it or, like, anything like that. So, like, leading up to what is now that I've started, I was just, like, I was eating a lot at night. Not that eating at night is bad, but, like, I was overindulging in certain spots where I shouldn't have been overindulging. And it was, like, throughout that whole time, constantly telling myself, do you really need another bag of pork rinds or like another bag of Quest chips? Because, again, I'm very boring when it comes to what I actually indulge on. And the whole time just being like, nah, it doesn't make a fucking difference. And then yesterday I made the decision, okay, I'm starting this right now, whatever. And it's like I see something and I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, my family ate whatever they ate for dinner tonight in front of me, and I'm eating whatever the fuck I had. And it's not like I'm like, I need that. It's just I flick the switch, and now I'm just hyper-focused on what I have to do, and nothing can get in my way of doing it. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. Like, that is a conversation that needs to be had more, and I think it's an ongoing pendulum.
Yeah.
Where, like, I mean, most people, when they lose their first big amount of weight, the pendulum's a bitch. And, like, I think throughout your entire transformation, you learn how to find the sweet spot over time. Because first it's like you overindulge and you get super fucking big.
Yeah.
And then you heavily restrict yourself and you're super lean.
Yep.
And then you're like, let's relax a little bit. And you're like, oh, God. And then it's like, all right, I got to rein it in.
Right.
And it's like, no, I'm too lean again. And slowly over time, you're finding that healthy balance in between.
Yep, and you figure it out.
But again, I think it's super rare for people to do it on their first run. Like,
No,
I
yeah.
haven't done it. Like, fuck. I mean, I think about over the last 8 years, I've done probably 3 pendulums, maybe. Probably 3.
I haven't done like a giant one. Like I never
What's
had
I'm saying?
massive
I'm not saying you
regain.
gain
Yeah.
massive.
No.
But again, to go from like, for example, like before your competition, or
I got heavy before my competition. Before I decided to.
Yeah, you got
I
up to.
I was like 270.
You were up to 270, but before that, didn't you get down to like 215 or whatever it was?
I was as low as before competition. The lowest I ever was like 240.
240. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got down to 240, and
Right.
then
Hit the competition. The lowest I was after that was like 215.
215.
Yeah.
But you get like 240, and then you pendulum back to 270.
Yeah.
And then you pendulum down to 215, and then you pendulum to what are you at right now?
I'm probably like 245 right now.
245.
I'd like to be
But
like
again,
240,
now you're seeing your set
235.
point. Now you're seeing your set point change. Like you hit 45, and you're like, yeah, this is not where I want to be.
Exactly.
And now you're coming back down, and those swings get less and less and less over time, and then you find that sweet spot. I think it's super rare that people, especially people who lose over 100 pounds, they do it one time and boom, they keep their weight within 5 pounds for 5
They're
hours.
perfect. They ain't shit.
I mean, they may be out there. But I ain't fucking one of them.
No.
No, again, like my first major weight loss, I didn't gain I never gained more than 60, 70 pounds. But again, that fluctuation still happened.
Right. Fluctuation's gonna happen no matter what. I feel like unless you are just constantly white knuckling everything. Perfection's a myth. I think we've said that about 1.5 billion times on this podcast, but it really is. I mean, there's a time and place for everything. Like I say this all the time, there is a time and place for everything, and you just have to figure out when that perfect time and place is for certain things, and you have to realize that it can't always be the time and place. So, if you followed that, you will understand.
Well, it's like, I mean, shit. I'll be honest. Think about I find it fascinating. Now, for me, I have 8 years of family get-togethers under my belt. For
I have
Easter,
like 7. Yeah,
Easter, Christmas, all this kind of shit. And the day after fucking Easter, did you see the Facebook group?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, there was like 7 people, all like super shit. I ate so bad. Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. And it's like, I've been there. But at the same time, as you get more used to it and you find that balance, regardless of what strategy you take, it really doesn't fucking matter.
No. Yeah. Whether you could be good all the way up to the point of the holiday and then like do whatever you want on the holiday, or do the opposite, and it's not going to really affect anything at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And it's like, the most you're going to do is, you may add 4 or 5 pounds of water weight. Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
Right.
But again, people... It's so crazy how people get so emotionally charged by that. And I think as you have become more successful in that process and you find that pendulum, you get better and better at finding that balance over time.
Absolutely.
And I mean, shoot, there are just so many stories in the last... Because I haven't been big on the Instagram game of like reaching out to other weight loss pages like you have, but now that I'm like 3, 4, 5 years in, I didn't start till like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But now I'm 3, 4 years in, seeing the pendulums of people's weight loss in the massive weight loss space, and the dangers of being inconsistent with it is just not. It's a very dangerous game, because it's like,
absolutely,
this one person gets glorified for his weight loss, and then he pendulums, and he doesn't pendulum massively, but he pendulums 40 pounds, And then all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, he's putting on weight," and it's like, "Oh, he's going way on the other side. Oh, here he is. He's going to gain all of it back."
Old habits creeping up. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Some of those accounts and where people are at, and people experiencing it for the first time, like people that lose the 200 pounds in a year, and then they get just absolutely glorified, and then they're in the maintenance phase, and then they do this
then they fucking nosedive.
Yep. It's a bitch. It's a bitch. Gosh, where are we going with this?
Just keep talking, babe.
I know. I was trying to think about what's the next point of topic. John Stamos.
I know you have something to say.
I don't know. I mean, I can always talk about TikTok. No, I'm just kidding. No.
You know what? You want to talk about not TikTok? So like the other equivalent of TikTok, Reel. Did you see the Reel I put up yesterday? That I got so much fucking love and hate and just.
Really? No, hold on.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love it because I'm speaking on behalf of.
Wait, is this the one,
the
dancing one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you hit 6K on this one. Yep. Yeah. Natural weight loss is a bullshit term. No, I agree. Well, I mean, you hear me say it.
Yeah.
I even conveyed that, which is like I lost my weight naturally, and then I'll always say afterwards, which is a fucking bullshit term because it's like it doesn't fucking matter. Like if people follow me, I tend to say that quite often. Do I ever say it every time? No. But I try my best to convey that message because
there was people coming out of the woodwork that were ready to die on the hill of natural weight loss is an okay term to use, and I was just like, listen. You can say whatever you want to say. It's the point of when people use it as a degrading, like, terminology to be like, no, don't worry, I didn't have surgery.
You're better than me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm reading the message right now.
So, someone that I truly respect in the weight loss scene. Truly, truly respect. This is not knocking him at anything. I love him to death. Left a comment. I was like, bro, you're bugging. Like, you're bugging.
Oh, yeah, I'm just reading it right now. Yeah, you're tripping on this one, Brody.
Yeah. And I'm still waiting for him to hit me up to do a live so we can both chop it up about it because I am ready, fully loaded, just ready to go. But hey, listen, if you want to, like I said in the caption, I will go toe to toe with anybody on that. And then it was so funny because it's like people that have no business of even talking about insecurities were just like, you're only saying this because you're insecure. What am I insecure about?
Yeah.
What do I possibly have to be insecure about? So it's just really funny.
Yeah, it's out. I mean, yeah, because like the whole natural versus quote unquote surgical. Again, my angle is always transparency. Right. And then it is crazy to me that like people that lose the weight without surgery do have this stigma of, well, look how fucking cool I am. Yeah, it's. But then flip of the coin. I will admit. It does drive me nuts where someone has a massive weight loss in a short amount of time.
Oh, and it doesn't mention the fact that they had surgery.
And they don't mention the fact they had surgery.
Dude,
it's
absolutely.
Because that's a little, again, bait and switch. It's like fucking C-Bum being on stage going, look at me, you can have this. And it's like, but I take more roids than a bull.
Right.
And it's like, hey, we got to be careful here saying that you can lose 180 pounds in fucking 9 months, and then you forget the fact that, by the way, I had surgery.
Right. No, 100%. I don't respect any of those people, and I will be happy to make a TikTok on that because I will make a TikTok. I mean, a TikTok. Listen to me. I don't go on that fucking app. A reel on that, and I know that these people that love and respect me will instantly flip on me. Will instantly be like, oh, you're an asshole. We don't have to tell anybody we had surgery. And it's like, no, you do. Like, yeah, you kind of do.
You gotta be authentic. It's like, I'm being dead ass. As soon as it's inevitable I'm going to go on TRT. It's just timeline. Yeah. And when I do, guess what? I'm going to be real fucking transparent about it. Because it's like, if people are looking up to you, if you are building a platform that involves education, inspiration on anything. Now, again,
Absolutely.
if you don't have a social media platform and you're with your Uncle Buck and you start losing weight and you tell your Uncle Buck, well, I'm not, just so you know, no, you don't have to do that. But I'm just saying,
right.
If you have a social media following and you're doing things to convey a message, you better be fucking real transparent with that message.
It's just really sad because it's like, what is there to hide? You know what I mean? Like, when you really think about it, what is there to hide? When you physically, if you're a person who had surgery, right? Like me, for example, if you're a person who had surgery and you know for a fact that the surgery is not what took you to the gym, it's not what made you wake up, it's not what made you meal prep, it's not what took you to the fucking show, like, you should be comfortable with the fact that you had surgery. There should be no hiding that. You know what I mean? And then there's people who I know personally, who you know that you don't even know that you know, who've had surgery and literally their whole family doesn't even know they had surgery.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just mind-boggling to me that, like, why do you feel like you have to hide that? You know, like a person who's on keto or a person who's a vegetarian or a vegan or whatever your fucking Weight Watchers, whatever your fucking niche is, like, you wouldn't hide that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Johnny, you lost a ton of weight. How did you do it? Oh, you didn't do Weight Watchers, did you? You didn't do this, did you? Like, why do you have to? Why feel the need to hide?
I tell you what, this is a complete pivot, but this is something I want to talk about because this is an interesting one. I don't know how I want to say this, and again, everyone has their own fucking opinions. This is mine. Where you and I definitely had very different experiences when it comes to relational love life at our heaviest.
Yes.
However,
did you just see he respectfully called me a whore? I just want everyone to see that he just respectfully called me a whore.
I did no such thing. But I make this comment all the time because I'm so sick of, again, it's the victim mindset in my opinion. Which is, you know what? And people comment like, "I bet you the girls treat you differently now than 400." And then some person will go, "Well, that's so wrong because you need to treat people based upon who they are, not what they look like." And it's like, I get what you're saying, but you're fucking delusional if you don't think looks matter. Like, it's just, now again, the way you treat people, your character, your merit is what's going to get you through the doorway into a relationship. But you're fucking naive if you think that how someone treats their body, the way they look, doesn't play a role into what someone. And it's like, it's just fucking ridiculous because I look at it from my lens and it's like, at 400-pound me, now preface, I was, even at 400 pounds, I was only ever attracted to fit girls. Right. Like, we're talking like fit, like not like fit. Was it a projection of because I was fat? Maybe. But I was only ever attracted to fit girls. So guess what?
I understand.
My odds of success, extremely fucking low.
No, I was the same way.
And I don't feel like so many people are like, oh, how dare those women? How dare they? It's like, I was 400 fucking pounds. I treated myself like shit. They treat their bodies like fucking temples. And you think I take it personal that this girl isn't attracted to me because no. Like, stop it. Like, that's I'm sorry. That's such a fucking victim mindset.
Like, so to me there's two sides to this coin when it comes to this. Like, there's the side of, you know, we both always get the question, like, have people treated you differently since you lost weight? And it's like, yes, they have. But that's based also on the fact of, like, the way we treated ourselves is better. True. Because people are only going to treat you the way you treat yourself at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So there's that end of the coin. And then there's the end of the coin of, like, so like you just said, no one is going to love you unless you love yourself. You know what I mean? And people know that, whether it's conscious or subconscious. People know that. A potential partner knows that. So, like, yes, was I not always lonely when I was 500 pounds. I'm going to use very keen words. Sure, yes, but I didn't have a long-standing relationship. You know what I mean? Because these girls knew I wasn't taking care of myself. Yeah. You know, they knew that, like, how? You know what I mean? Like, how is someone supposed to love somebody who is just being a degenerate all the fucking time, eating like an asshole, drinking every weekend, you know, and all that stuff just adds up, and people know that. So, yeah, I didn't have my first really long relationship until right now. You know what I mean? Like, my fiance and I have been going out almost 5 years. We're engaged a whole year, you know, and it's like I didn't find that true love, like that real substance of love. And so I turned around and was like, this is my body. This is my vessel that's going to take me through the rest of this journey, and I need to treat it with respect.
Well, because, I mean, that's where I go full circle with mine, where it's like, I look back at any of my friends from high school and even early at college can attest to this, and I went through, like, if you struggle with your own self-respect, self-love, you tend to crave the love of others.
Absolutely.
And so what do? You jump from relationship to relationship, and I think one of the biggest red flags in anybody is if they're not good at being alone, odds are they struggle with their own self-respect, self-love, and everything else in between.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, I look at myself at 400 pounds, and I tried oh my gosh, I had my friends from high school, Phil, you'll meet him someday. He can tell you fucking stories. Of me just like, I'm in love with this girl. Come on, why can't she like blah blah? All
I've
this
been
kind
there.
But now it's like I love the person. I love what I do with my life. I love what I do in a day. I love what I'm doing. Obviously, we always want to do more. But like, I'm at a place now that if a girl doesn't fit harmoniously into the vision of what I'm trying to create in my life, all right, it's not going to work. That's fine.
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
I don't have this I'm 30 years old, and I don't just have, like, I don't have this, like, where's the girl? Where's the girl? And if the girl comes tomorrow, great. Fantastic. If the girl comes in a year, great. Fantastic. I love what I'm doing. I'm passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about everything I'm doing. That once the person aligns with me, fantastic. Am I shutting myself off to the possibility of a relationship? No. Am I outright seeking it because I don't have a positive self-image, and I think my self-image is in my significant other?
Right.
No. And so that's always an interesting one that people don't like hearing that because it hits hard. Oh my gosh! Like when people it is an absolute red flag when you see people just like go hard at relationship stuff.
People see love as like a feeling and like something that you're supposed to do, and like what people don't realize is being in a relationship and being in love with someone is also an investment in them.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's a question. Oh, this is a dangerous question. Do you believe in the one?
Oh yeah.
You do?
I do. Yeah.
See, I don't.
Yeah.
I believe in compatibility. I believe there are probably out of 9 billion people, 4.5 billion women. Obviously, most don't speak English. So we'll say out of 1 billion women out there that speak English, I am compatible with probably 25,000 of them. If I go across the world, there's probably 25,000 women out there that have the demeanor, what I'm looking for, the passion, the character, the morals, the look, everything. There's probably 25,000 out there. And, like, great. I don't believe in this, like, there's the one and done. I don't believe
I'm
that.
sure. That's not to say that I don't think that I compatibility is not out of the question. I'm sure that I have to really walk a thin line of how I answer this, right?
What? This is like when a girl goes, "Do I look fat in this dress?" I plead the fifth.
Right. So, like, I'm sure with those same numbers you just used, I'm sure it could possibly be the same for old JR. But like, I know. Never mind. Next question.
It's so. See, I'm in a safe place. I'm single, so I can say whatever the fuck.
I'm getting married in 5 months. You know?
Come on, John. What's your answer? Come on.
I want to thank you all for listening today. Yeah.
What's your answer, Sean?
Fuck off, David. You know, so like, I think. All right. So ultimately, yes, I think that there is a one. I think that there definitely is the person that you are most compatible with, that fits every single thing that you want. That does not mean that one, you're going to end up with the one, and two, that there are not other puzzle pieces that fit your puzzle piece. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that was good.
Yeah.
I think that was safe, right? I just know that I have my one. All right? Like, that's all I know. My puzzle
David,
piece is just...
shut the fuck up and move on. Shut the fuck up.
Edit all this.
Oh, my gosh. I really hope she comments on the YouTube channel going, John, answer the fucking question. That would make my day. That would make my day.
But you know what? She knows what I mean.
She knows what I mean. No, 100%. But I wanted to have the conversation in more detail because I can actually take this information and put it around my TikTok. Because I rip some of this and put it around my TikTok just like you on Instagram.
Yeah.
It hits so well. Because, again, it just drives me nuts when... Because the love... The term love and, like, this... Gosh, it gets so muddy. Because then it turns into what someone's perception of love is. And it goes into all this kind of stuff. And then it's like, you should be loved by who you are, not what you look like. I agree.
Yeah.
But love, I can love someone and say, I love you as a friend, but I will not date you and marry you because, yes, I love you in this. I don't like these things. So I'm not going to. Like, it's just so nonsense. It's such like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Where it's like, if something doesn't work, it's because it's someone else's fault.
Right.
And if something works right, it's because of me. And it's like, that's not how that fucking works.
No, there's a reason why the friend zone exists.
Yeah. Too funny. All right, wrap this bad boy up. We just shot the shit for 30 minutes.
Fuck you, David.
Please, for the love of God, can you please...
She'll watch this.
I know. I need you to comment. I need you.
She'll be fine. Everything's great. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Guys, I want to thank you for listening to this to the end of the episode. If you're still rocking with us,
challenge to everyone watching on YouTube. Comment below. Do you believe in the one or do you believe in compatibility? I want to know.
For anyone who watches or listens to this, do you believe in the one
or compatibility?
All right, guys. So. I want to thank you all for listening to the end of the show. Guys, today's show was sponsored by the good folks at Redcon 1 for the highest state of readiness. Go to redcon1.com. Use promo code T20JARPS to save at checkout. You can also visit realgoodfoods.com. They've offered us a really great promo code for our listeners, so you can use the promo code THEGAINS in between. That's The Gains with a Z in between at checkout to save. You can join us each and every single Wednesday night for the ALG community call. That call is always free, and you access that call by joining the Facebook group. That's right. The ALG community has its own Facebook group, and if you're not a part of it, well, what the fuck are you waiting for? And that's really it. This was a doozy. Stay beautiful, stay sexy, stay accountable.
Toodles.